In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, I'd like to introduce you to the layout of the screen. This is for anyone who is brand new to this video editing program. There are lots of features I won't be able to touch on, but they would be confusing at this point, so let me give you some of the basic ABCs of what you see. To put it in its simplest terms, in the upper left corner you have a screen that holds all the components of your movie. On the right upper screen you have a preview window, and on the bottom, well, that's the place where you assemble your videos. Let me give you a couple of tips. I put 3 items in my upper left screen that I created myself. I have a movie, I have a picture, and I have a music file. We'll show you how to add your own information into this box, this storage locale, this library, in another video. But a couple things I want you to note. By the way, I'm using version 15. If you have an earlier version, much of what I say will apply to yours as well. There are 3 boxes here that you must make sure are checked or unchecked according to your preferences. The one with the music is audio. If I click that and it turns gray, it didn't erase my file, it simply filtered it out. The same thing happens for any images, on or off, or any movies, on or off. So if you have something up here in your library and you say, I can't see it, double check to make sure all your filters are turned on rather than off. You also might see a display that you don't recognize because you can change the view of it here, and sometimes people will use like details, and it's just a different display of the same icons. So I will go back to medium icons, which is probably what most people are comfortable with. All of this is under the Media Room tab on the left. There are other areas on the same tab that you can display. There's Media Content, which is the default. You can display color boards along with the RGB values. You can display backgrounds, which are default loaded with your personal copy of PowerDirector, and projects, express projects. We won't go into all of that, but those are some of the things that are displayed off of this first area in the left. The second area down, when we see this screen has multiple functions, will display your special effects. That's what FX stands for. And when you click on any of these, it will give you a little bit of a guess as to what they actually do, although I've found that all these images are pretty inefficient to show me what actually they can do. When we link them to a movie, then we can see, and I'll show you how to do that in another lesson. The third area down is your PIP objects. PIP stands for Picture in Picture. And when you lay these in your timeline, in your area down here, where you have multiple video tracks, you will find that the picture will be around or behind or some way integrated with these other kinds of things. We'll show you about how picture in picture works. The next area is your particles, and you have a host of them that are displayed that come with your program, and we will show you later on how to integrate these kinds of things with your movie. The next one down is something you may use often. That is your templates. And the template is where you put text on the screen. It can be opening text, it can be explanatory text, it can be any kind of closing credits, but there are a host of options that you can take and use and adjust and change for text when you're dealing with PowerDirector. The next one down is the one that shows you your transitions. And once again, when you click on the transition on the left, you see an example of what it looks like on the right, and you can use transitions between scenes or wherever you want to strategically use them in your particular video. The next one down isn't so much an area where you actually use this in a movie, but it deals with controlling of your sound channels. And the last one that I'd like to point out today is one that helps you when you're doing an audio over your tracks, and you can see it's active right now to my voice. There are others here that we won't get into at this point in time, but basically what I want you to understand is this upper left quadrant gives you all the different screens of content from which you create your video, and then the right part would give you a preview window, and there's more about both of these we'll show you in future lessons. The window you'll be using most is the window that shows your tracks. PowerDirector can handle 100 tracks in a document, and we'll show you how you put information there in a future lesson. What we want to show you right now is you simply, once you have anything you want, whether it's a color board or a piece of music or a picture or a movie, you drag it and you drop it into the track. And you can drag many things. You can put them side by side, and you can actually put some items under one track, under or above another, and that will help you understand how you can use certain kinds of music as background music, or certain kinds of pictures or movies playing on top of, next to, beside, or overlaying one another as you deal with tracks. It's also where you could take, for example, some of your effects. I'll take this black light here and I'll drag it to this track here, and since it's under this particular image, when I start to play that in the preview, ooh, that's too loud. If I were to play that in the preview screen, it would affect the actual look of the track. You see it's kind of shaded here. We're going to show you how to assemble a movie the simplest way possible in our next lesson.